This event happened back 2018. I was still relatively new and learning a lot. I'm still learning a lot, but I was really learning a lot back then. So I'm tasked with running up River X in the interior Alaska. We keep it unnamed. And what that is we stocking baits at the top of the river on, we'll go ahead and tell you, it's the East Fork. So the East Fork, there's two people that run up the river, me and a old guy that's a miner up there. His name's Bill. Well, it's the spring, no one's been up there yet, and the snow melt off's happening, so the water's high and there's a lot of log jams. So the other guys that are working for this particular outfit, I'll leave the outfit unnamed, down on the coast still, and I have to go up the river and cut out these log jams and then take the barrels up, hook them to the trees, so on and so forth. So needless to say, it's probably a 2 to 3 man job, but I'm gonna do it myself. So I'm running up, and this is back ignorant. If there's ever a situation where it's like, okay, this is definitely a 2 man job, just be like, yeah, this is dangerous, I'm not doing it. But like I said, I was younger and dumber back then. Still young, still dumb, but I was dumber. So I'm going up, and I come to this one particular log jam where the river comes down like so. Big log jam, hard bend, comes back around. And when it comes back around, it's a sharp bend type of so there's a big bank. It's a dirt bank, and then over here, dirt bank, and then on the back side of the log jam you have a rock ball, and then on the opposite side is another dirt bank. So I'm going up, and I gotta cut this one log because there's this little weak point on the left hand side on the log jam where you could probably cut through like several logs. It's not like just one and done. On the other side, it's totally no go. You're gonna need like a shit ton of dynamite to blow that stuff out. So I'm going along, I drop a few logs, they go on, and there's a section of the logs that are stacked up like so, and then there's one that's kind of up like this that I think's holding some, and it looks like it has a little bit of tension, but not too much. I'm like, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Well, the current's pretty strong because again, it's melt off, so it's high. So I have to throttle the boat up to about, if I had to put a percentage on it, you're looking at like 40%, I would say. Maybe not even 40, maybe 35 roughly to match the current speed, so it hovers. Well, I tie a rope on the bow, and I loop it, hitch it, and then I have that at the base of the log, so it's holding the bow of the boat even with the log that I don't think has much tension, if any. So then I have the chainsaw here, so I'm cutting this log, and it's getting closer, and again, I swear it felt like it had no tension. And again, this was the first time really of my life cutting out log jams, so I was pretty ignorant. I've cut trees in Missouri, but I was new to this. So I'm going, and finally it goes and it gives way, and there was a lot of tension on it. So that log actually, where it comes up, somehow, I don't even know exactly how it happened, but when it gives away, it hits the bow of the boat. The rope comes loose, like it's a perfect storm of like you are screwed, and I'm leaning like this, and when it hits the bow of the boat, I lose my balance and I go in the water. And if you ever run around in hip boots, you know they're kind of heavy and cumbersome, and if you go in, they fill up with water like nothing. So here I am in the water, the current's pushing me this direction towards like where the log jam could suck me in, because if you've ever been in a log jam, there's several different flows of the water going underneath and then back out the other side. So I go in, and then I just remember like looking up and like, this is not how I expected to go, type of a deal. It was a weird feeling, but at the same time it was like slow motion. It was really weird because I'm thinking this, I'm looking up, but then also I feel like I'm watching it at the same time. It was really freaking weird. I know I sound like I'm making this up, but it was nuts type of a deal. Well, I remember doing this and then kicking my legs as hard as I could, and I don't know what my foot hit, if it was the bottom or if there was another log underneath. I spring back up and I'm reaching up, and then the boat is floating like this, and I reach my left hand up, and it catches the edge. There's a cleat on the end of the boat that's like this, and it catches the edge of that to where I can get my other hand up and grab hold of it. So I'm going through, and then I'm less worried now because I'm over, like, okay, I think I'm gonna die now, because it was like that. It felt like a long time, but it was like a split second. I'm under the water. I'm like, I'm never getting back up to the surface with these hip boots filled up. It's like it's game over. But luckily it wasn't. So I'm holding on to the boat. I'm trying to pull myself out, but again, the water's is filled with my hip boots. I'm getting walked up, and I get my head like right here, and then the back of that boat hits that dirt bank, and I remember going, "Kunk," and I bounced my head off the side of the freaking boat, and I actually got a little bit of a scar right there from it. Bounced my head off the boat. Luckily, again, I mean, at that moment, if it would have knocked me out, it would have been game over, but luckily, you can ask my mom, I have a pretty hard head, so it didn't knock me out. So I'm able to recover from that, pull myself up onto the boat, and I mean, it's all good after that. You know, I'm wet, cold, it's Alaska in the spring. You gotta watch hypothermia. So always take a emergency pair of clothes. So I had some dry clothes on with me in the dry bag. So I had to pull up on a gravel bank and get changed out, and then I ended up I don't remember exactly, but I think I caught it a day after that. I think I was gonna go cut more, but again, I dropped the chainsaw in the river. I had a smaller one with me, but I was like, you know what, that's enough for one day. So shoot back, and that was that's a close call I had back in the day in 2018 in the spring. So hope you guys enjoyed it.